Hey nerds, and welcome to Supergirl Theories and Conspiracies. I'm your host Brian from Good Nerd Bad Nerd. This week on Supergirl we had Indigo, who was revealed to be someone else, but we'll get to that in a minute because there was a few shout outs and things to kind of the bigger DC universe, and these are always great and we love these, so I just wanted to touch on those first. First, the Fortress of Solitude. The episode was called Solitude, and Jimmy takes Kara to the fortress, which is strange that he was the one to take her. She does mention that Clark has offered to take her before, but she thought it would make her homesick. But we do get there, and the first thing we see is the giant key. This is really straight out of the comics. Superman does have a key that is so heavy that only a Kryptonian or someone who's as strong as a Kryptonian on Earth could lift it. I liked how it looked. It looked very cool. It had the thing in it. A lot of times in the comics and in some of the animated stuff, it's shown as just a normal looking house key that is just incredibly heavy. And I think this was a much better look for this material that was forged in a dwarf star or whatever, however they explained it. But so I liked the key, and that is something that is straight out of the comics. Next, all the stuff we saw in there. We saw Superman's spaceship. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in there that was just in the background and was really hard to catch, but the two big things, Superman's spaceship and the ring. And the ring they focused on really heavily, and this is a ring from the Legion of Superheroes. The Legion is a team of superheroes in the future, kind of like the Justice League, but they are younger. They're kind of a younger group. At least that's the way they're often portrayed. But this ring is important because in the comics and in some of the animated stuff, Supergirl does go to the future and she ends up staying there in some versions of Supergirl's story. So it's possible we're going to see Kara going into the future. It's possible we're going to see people coming back from the future to interact with Kara. But this also does acknowledge that Superman's already traveled to the future. He was an honorary member of the Legion as Superboy. He went to the future and fought with them for a while and then came back to be Superman. So that's kind of where that comes in. Now, another notable thing about this ring is we've seen it before on The Flash. On CW's Flash, when he's kind of been breaking through time barriers, things like that, we did get to see the ring of the Legion. I'm pretty sure it was when we saw him crossing into Earth 2, but it was either then or when he was time traveling. It's hard to say. They use kind of that similar effect of him seeing stuff in the time stream and the Speed Force. But we have seen this ring before, and so it's really is another shout out to how these two TV shows exist in a similar idea, not universe because they are separate universes, but they exist together. So that's what that ring was. Now, a line Jimmy said on their after they arrived there was, "You fly faster than Superman, but he turns better." This is a reference to the fact that Kara is actually potentially stronger than Superman, and so this is kind of referring to that. The two reasons why Kara it's explained that she is potentially stronger is one, she doesn't have the mental safeguards built in that Superman has. Clark, from a very young age, was taught to control his powers. He can't do too much, whereas Kara wasn't really taught that. She was told to hide them, not control them. And so there's a very big difference. The second thing is on her way to Earth, and this is initially coming from the comics, she was in stasis at a much closer range to the yellow sun, and she absorbed much more pure solar radiation than Clark did. Clark got to Earth real quick, and he's been absorbing it from millions of miles away through our atmosphere, whereas Kara, while in space and in stasis, was absorbing it up close. So that's one of the reasons, the other reason that they give for Kara being potentially stronger than Superman. And this little line of Jimmy saying that she was flying faster than Superman is just a reference to that. Now, the villain of the week, Indigo. Indigo was a very cool villain. The week before, I was like, wow, they gave Indigo the Brainiac things on her forehead. And that's because Indigo is a Brainiac. Brainiac is one of Superman's most deadly villains. He's almost like a DC version of Ultron, although Ultron is entirely robotic, and Brainiac has had different versions. One where he's like the Kaluans, their race is kind of integrated with computers, and in another version, it was in the Superman animated film or cartoon, it was the computer for the Kryptonians. So Brainiac 8, though, this is who Indigo is. She's a Kaluan born in the distant future that came back into the past. Initially, they weren't sure why she came back into the past, but she came back damaged. She tried to repair herself, but that just led to fights with the Teen Titans. Afterwards, and after the Teen Titans disbanded, a group called the Outsiders, which, if you're familiar with the Young Justice cartoon, that's basically what the Outsiders are. But Arsenal brought her on the team and vouched for her. And so she teamed up with them for a little bit until it was revealed that she had a hidden sub-program that was put into her by Brainiac 6 to get her to kind of endear herself to the superhero community in order to kill Donna Troy, who is Wonder Girl. The reason being that in the future, Donna Troy would be the one responsible for preventing the Kaluan race from dominating and ruling over all organic life. So Brainiac 8 was sent back in time as Indigo to stop Donna Troy and kill her. Well, in kind of her final moments, the Indigo personality was able to regain control over the Brainiac 8 and asked one of the Titan heroes named Shift to kill her. So at this point, she's dead, although it has been rumored that Indigo will be making a return. So how does Indigo fit into Myriad? It's still hard to say, but she's a really powerful character, and it's really cool. I didn't necessarily understand what her kind of dematerializing ability was, because that's not in the comics, so that was something they created just for the show. But she's a very cool character. The Brainiacs are, like I said, Ultron-level villain if you are familiar with Marvel and not necessarily with DC. But I'm really excited to see that she will be teaming up with Nod, and that we're going to, I mean, this is raising the stakes a lot. And we know Myriad will be coming soon, as the 2 weeks that Nod gave Supergirl are almost up. So what did you guys think? Tell me if you liked Indigo, if you like where this is going. Did you catch something in the Fortress of Solitude that I missed? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to me on Twitter and YouTube. Twitter at GoodNerdBadNerd, and follow me on Facebook at GoodNerdBadNerd. So until next week, this has been Brian, and this has been Supergirl Theories and Conspiracies.